with all of its real holes. Calf, goat, calf. Okay. I'll pass these two around. These are both pieces of parchment. They are labeled as to what they are from, cow or goat. Actually, they're calf. So you can feel the difference. Some of them are really fine. Some of them are not consistent. So if I'm looking at y'all, I can see through this side much more than I can see through this side. It's a skin. It'll be irregular, and as such needs to be cut into a regular shape so we can work with it. You will find, if you start shopping for parchment, it is skin. Literally skin.
It's leather.
Leather.
It's very fine leather. Sometimes you'll find that there are stripes on the animal that are actually on the skin and not just the fur. Sometimes you get holes. You get really cool marbling effects. And that may not necessarily be desirable, depends on what you're going to put on the parchment.
That was my next question. How undesirable is it? If it comes out that way anyway, is it still usable?
It is usable. It's up to you what you put on it. You don't want the marking so, the marbling so dark that it's going to obstruct the text. But this would, if somebody took the time to make this into parchment, which they did, even in period, if somebody took the time to make this skin into a piece of parchment, it would have gotten used.
Yeah.
It might not have been a Bible. It's usable. It's up to you what you put on it. You don't want the marking so, the marbling so dark that it's going to obstruct the text. But this would, if somebody took the time to make this into parchment, which they did, even in period, if somebody took the time to make this skin into a piece of parchment, it would have gotten used.
Yeah.
It might not have been a Bible page. It might have been a bill of lading, or a letter, or a household inventory, those sorts of things. But it was still gotten used because that's a long process, and that's a lot of work. And I'm pretty sure if y'all are active on Pinterest, or you have one of the Kingdom pages on your Facebook, you've seen some stuff about what we do with the holes. Draw face. I saw one today with faces drawn around the hole. This would have been a mouth. I've seen them stitched.
Did they actually do that? Oh, wow.
So basically, it looks like it was crocheted across.
Yes. Yes, it was basically done much the same way you would make a modern dream catcher. It was punctured around and then filled in. But this could totally be part of an illustration, or the page behind it could have the illustration. Do like a peekaboo window, a scroll, a piece of parchment that is tougher on its upper right corner versus its lower left corner. I know that when I'm working in that upper right corner, I have more freedom to screw up because the skin can take the scraping, versus the lower left where it may not be able to take any of the scraping. And you'll find even in period examples, the back side of a page doesn't necessarily look as good as the front side of a page because you're talking about the skin side versus the hair side of an animal. You're not gonna get the same results. You can do lots of prep work and pouncing and sanding and all those sorts of things to get as good a line as you can, but it may not look the same no matter what. Ideally, you want, if you're going to make a book, you want your parchment to be of roughly the same thickness, or at least of the same material. Because when you do multiple folios, you can use the tougher on the outer of a folio for durability's sake, or what have you. But it doesn't have to be that awesome. This sounds the same. This is Pergaminata. That's, there's a company called Pergamena. They make parchment and fine leathers. This is Pergaminata. Pergaminata is a vegetable matter substitute. Now that you've touched the real thing, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
It is durable in the same fashion. It can be scraped, it can be cut. It has a tendency not to curl as much, which is cool. Because keeping parchment flat stinks. You'll also find, this is stuff made by Canson. It comes in multiple shades. You can find it at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. They usually have it large sheets laid flat in the. This is also a watercolor paper. It has a lot of the same qualities as watercolor paper. It's not. It's workable. It's not ideal. And then regular old cardstock. Can you work on regular cardstock? Yes, you totally can. Things that you will find is that the less you, and then the bad boy at the back. This is Arch's hot press watercolor paper. And it's sealed on the edges. Arches has been making watercolor paper, cold press and hot press since before the end of our game period. So about 14 something. And they've used the same recipe and the same methods the whole time. So their recipe for paper is good enough for ANS competitions. And they're all, you
So
notice
this is, you just peel.
yes.
Wow.
You notice that the glue doesn't go all the way around. So I can peel up, and they're tight
Very
together.
tightly.
Well, I paid approximately $25 to $30 for this pattern.
Wow.
Just pulled willy-nilly on that.
Yeah. And that's the only place it's unglued, so that everything underneath will stay nice and clean and flat and fresh and ready to go.
Yeah.
This is my preferred, really my preferred. This is my love. And it is, like this is probably 20 sheets. Once you have a substrate to work on, we gotta figure out what we're gonna put on it and how we're gonna get there. If you go to the Mart of Wall, you will find this.
Oh, those are what they gave me.
Yep,
Okay.
easily obtainable. You find this at Walmart. I think this one's from Michael's. No, this one's from Hobby Lobby. At Michael's, they will sell Reeves brand. These are all about the same. These are student grade gouache paint. The difference between gouache and watercolor is chalk. That's it. This is watercolor paint with chalk added to make it opaque.